Alright. As I can actually just angle this ever so slightly. And I think I'll get both myself and my... Yeah, I can get both myself and this monstrosity in the shot here. So, alright. Let's just tweak this just a little more. That way I know I'm in the shot. There we go. So, welcome to Dreadnought Redux Part 34. There's a certain internet rule with the same number. And that's as close as I'm going to poke that hornet's nest on YouTube. Don't look it up. Not at work. Anyway, so as you can see here, that enclosure I built last time. Turn 90 degrees so that I can actually open the door. But other than that, I have another little bit of kit in there. My heat gun. Well, yeah, I might as well explain that just a little bit. So, the wife said, okay, Amazon's saying it's gonna be Monday, it's gonna be Monday. Today's Monday, and the parts are not freaking here. Okay, so I figured to myself, putting that thing on, there's some things she really wants these things printed for tomorrow. So, I'm like, okay, then what do I do? How do I make that work? And then I'm like, wait a minute. There's got to be like some little space heater or something I can schlep in there just for tonight, just to, you know, try the idea out. And then my eyes, you know, as I often do, I'm thinking, and then I fall on that box right there on the floor, where my heat gun was in residence. I'm like, wait a minute, I have a heat gun. I can do this. And so that's what I did. I took the heat gun, pointed it into the big hole, and fingers crossed nothing catches fire. It's set to below what I would consider any reasonable ignition attempt. Again, this isn't make the thing really freaking hot. No, this is make it warm so that the parts really don't warp so much. Okay, sorry. I thought I heard something horrible happen. I should put like a viewing port in there and some lights. Okay, that'll be later. If it works, and I'll be happy. Oh, no, I hear it moving around, so... And the box isn't even shaking. I was afraid that with these, you know, spindly legs, the box would shake, but that's kind of beside the point here. So, besides that little project, as y'all can guess, I also got that thing, as I move the camera, to make tools for my modeling. Well, just as a sort of a sneak peek at coming attractions in like a couple months. So, I was using this as kind of my, you know, back room type model, you know, do it if I get bored of the Dreadnought a little bit and then come back to it. But, as you can see, I did a little something to this one. So normally this has raised panel lines. I think I've mentioned more than once in this channel, I hate raised panel lines. So I recessed them myself. Yeah, no, I'm going to have to do a lot of hiding and a lot of trickery to make that work out good. Plus side is, learning how to do this now will help if I feel the need to do it on the Bismarck for any reason, or to add additional details, what have you. And that might very well be a thing. Maybe not. I think the seams in that one were welded, but I'm not 100% sure. Should probably, you know, next time read the book on the whole ship before even touching it. Which, again, is another reason to do the B-17. All sorts of fun stuff here. Yeah, and I got, like, all the fun stuff, too, so... This is probably part of the reason why the wife is pushing me as well, because look at all the fun stuff I got for it. Why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? It's like, why aren't you doing it? It'll be a really good model when it's done, even if it has to look like it's got a lot of battle damage to hide some things. But that's neither here nor there. So I think it's about time I started getting back to this little fella right here. And I guess the way that's going to work is, well, I'll have to be careful how I lay out the shop and have to clean it more often, but that'll work until I've made myself a little mini office desk, which, actually, I could actually probably pull off, couldn't I? I've got the parts. That's a thought. Alright, well, I'll get back to it. And back to what I got after some, well, to be honest, deleted footage where I talk a bit more about the 3D printer, because with that heat gun, it doesn't do it now because, well, I have a proper space heater now in there, but with the heat gun, it was actually making the fluorescent light I use flicker, and that was just tripping up my eyes like you would not believe. So now, as you can see, the light's not flickering except for when I cover the area in shadow, and you get to see me making lots of these little shelves. This is the big reason why in a bit I'm going to find out that I have no more shelves on my little photo etch fret that I've done, and I'm going to have to start getting more photo etching done. And as a little thing that'll be mentioned later, yeah, I am really rethinking that whole not making the photo etch tool type thing that I was originally doing to help laminate it, because oh god. you will see in a bit. That is, hopefully it will amuse you. But you're going to have to do a lot of my talking and modeling first. So what I'm doing now is super gluing some little boxes together there to make it look like the dynamos that were in this thing. I did find a guide of where things were. Found a lot of stuff I did was not correct for the artistic license, but again, this is part, for fun, and artistic license is kind of to be expected and forgiven, although next time it's a good reminder about, the Bismarck for more accuracy. But going right along, in this little thing I'm making with some bits and bobs, you can see there I'm using the Rosen Core leaded solder I got a long time ago from, I think it's Radio Shack. That, or I might have insisted on getting it from Amazon, but I make hydraulic machinery there, using those for stand-ins for pipes. And now I think I eventually make I think I'm making a little work desk that goes in here. I might be able to put in a few more shelves, but I do run out, as I've mentioned, in fairly short order from this point. Again, I'm using the high-tack super glue just because it's sticky faster, and it's also, that's the big thing, that it kind of tacks itself in place and it's easier to handle. Alright, here's the part where I start telling you what I told you already in normal time. Alright, so I think I'm not quite done with this level yet. You've seen me add, after looking at that book a bit for some missing details, something that looks a bit more like their steam-powered electric dynamos and the hydraulic machinery. I couldn't seem to find what the actual hydraulic machinery was, but I did find what the electric dynamos were. They were like these, I guess, two-stroke steam engine thingamajigs. So that's what I put in there. And, finding that extra part of the book is really helpful for making things accurate. Wish I'd thought to look there before. You can imagine the triangular dunce cap, but, considering no one else is doing what I'm doing that I know of right now, I think we can overlook it. But, so other thing I can't overlook, though, is I am running out of photo etch, and I just ran out of photo etch that I'd really need to do any decent bit of artistic license for this kind of combined shell, shell working space and gunner's store, right? Yeah, that's what that was. So, yeah. Working space for 12-inch ammunition in a gunner's store. That's what that area is. Again, the need to be creative there goes way back to when I originally built this thing and forgot to account for the issues with the thickness of the big bulkheads I put in, as well as just, I guess, measurement error. That won't be such a problem on the Bismarck because it's going to be so much bigger and wider, but there's still that whole issue of making sure that I do account for that next time. There's also other issues I've thought about for Bismarck, and seeing as it's late enough at night, I'm probably going to want to do the thing with photo etching tomorrow. I'll go ahead and just mention them real quick. So, the first thing I can think of is adding those bulkheads, right? It'd be really cool if I could detail those next time around. So that'll be a thing to see if I can't pull off. Then there's going to be the, not just that, but the issue of when I put that resin stuff, the stuff I made the second kind of round of castings for the Dreadnought with, and it worked out so much better, that stuff got hot. And I don't want to warp the body of this thing if I can avoid it. So I'm going to need to find some way to extract heat from that while I've loaded up the Bismarck with just gobs and gobs of this resin stuff. I've got a way I think will do pretty good. Essentially, it boils down to buy like a pump, buy some flexible rubber hose type tubing, and run a liquid through it that I'm also running through like one of them dinky fridges, you know, like the little apartment or back room one that people get. It's like basically a tube. It's basically like looks like that, but a little smaller, and it's cold inside instead of warm. Yeah. So like one of those, and like wrap the thing around the wrap that stuff I'm using for cooling around the the thing inside that's doing the actual cooling in the fridge unit. Basically, is the thing that makes the freezer, from what I can tell. Real question after that is, what do I fill that with to make sure that it doesn't freeze or too easily and carries away good heat? Maybe I'll have to look and see. Mineral oil might be the best bet. My first thought was isopropyl alcohol, but I'm like, yeah, that stuff gets out of the pump or anything, I got a fire hazard. Not gonna do that down here. I'm dumb, not stupid. So yeah, I guess that'll be just it for tonight. And in the next clip of this video you see should be me doing more photo etchy stuff. Alright. Alright. So once more with feeling. Please tell me this isn't a big dent in this thing. Well, it's not actually in the way of anything, so I'm probably safe. How'd that get there, though? That's annoying. Oh well. Sorry. I have my 5/1000ths of an inch thick brass sheet. It's upside down, but it says .005 by 4 by 10. I have my mask. I've already preset my calipers to score that. I have my little plastic sandwich doohickey that has this all nice and tight. I got my photoresist ready to go. Alright. So essentially what I do is I cut out a 3" by 3", or no, let's use the right system of measurements. 75 by 75 millimeters square out of this. I sand it down with that. That's 2000 grit sanding sponge from Tamiya. And I then proceed to, after doing that, cleaning it off a little bit, I take this photoresist, cut a bit out, remove one of the sides of a protective stuff, put it over, get it on there, squeegee it out. That's what I got out this guy right here for. Hopefully that works good. And then after everything's hopefully nice, squeegeed out, air free. Hold on, I might want to actually hold on. I had a better. Scrap can sometimes be useful. I'll see if this doesn't do it better first. I squeegee out the water between them. Use the airbrush, just kind of mist on the water, so that way the photoresist sticks, and hopefully everything goes good. The gadget there, that needs a name. I'm going to call it the gadget, because I'm sure I'll find something better to call a gadget, but that's it. So, there we go. I take that, sand it down, and yep, then hopefully in a little bit we'll have ourselves something ready to run through that laminator. Wish me luck. So, as you can see, there's still little air bubbles in here, or evidence that there were air bubbles in that, but overall that'll be plenty of shelves to help, and once again, usable results, which is a good thing. Now with a bit of luck, I'll be able to actually develop it. That's what that is. Etch it and strip it, and it'll actually come out looking good. You ever think to yourself, there's got to be a better way? Okay. So, let's see. What is a lesson I have learned from this failure? Alright. That's what I'm talking about. That is a lot better. What a difference 15 seconds of curing time and maybe a few other little learned tricks makes. You know, and warming up the UV lamp for both things separately. So now I've got a pretty good, I hope, procedure down for making these little photo frets, which is gonna be great. And again, I think I might have to devote some time to designing and building that tool idea I had, after all. Because understand, this barely outfitted 2 little deck segments of the Dreadnought. There was this one, and then I got through this one over here. So I'm probably going to need at least one more for this boat, all things considered. I keep forgetting the superstructure too, so maybe more than that. And then, well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be doing the B-17 for a while, so that's got its own, you know, professionally made photo etch. That'll be good for me, working that out, you know. Just knocking that out, make the wife happy, all that stuff. Also gives me some time to kind of plot and design things for the Bismarck. I wonder if I should make it like a running gag every time I think of something that the Bismarck is gonna need. Like I should like have like a little counter or something on the you know, screen or something. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. But that's neither here nor there. Oh, something bit me or something. I don't know what it was. But something is bothering me right here. I'm not sure if like a tick got me or something. Okay, that's a bit much. Alright, so next time I start videoing, I will be building this, where were we? I think I was right here, making a kind of gunner store area there, before going down to this kind of torpedo room and the rooms below that. So that is what I'll be working on the next time. But at least now I get back to model making rather than trying to, you know, do dark arts without, I don't know, candles and Virgin's Blood pentagrams. Alright, so I'll do a little bit of that and then we'll finish this video off. Alright. And of course, even though I'm up nice and close and making more shelves and whatnot, we're carrying none of that because we see a little tiny thing in that upper left-hand corner of the screen and we're wondering, what is this? This is me fumbling around in GIMP photo editing software. I am no professional at it, but I figured it's usable enough. I can learn it enough to bash it into something I can get use of. In this case, I am making that icon I just mentioned, because I figured that is a thing I can do. That would add some amusement value to everybody, I think, so I'm going to do this unless y'all tell me not to. So, you're probably wondering, okay, the Bismarck, but why the Swiss cheese? Y'all think about the story of the Bismarck for a minute. Just a minute. I think especially my British audience will be quite appreciative of that. Once the British fleet caught the Bismarck, they essentially started shooting until they were firing, like, essentially at point blank range. They turned that boat into Swiss cheese. The Germans might have scuttled it, but they turned the boat into Swiss cheese before they did, so yeah. And there's me just making more shelves there. And here is the icon in all its glory. And I'm gonna take a quick opportunity to get ready to further the gag a little more. So, we're gonna have a little counter with this thing. That's right, a counter, kids, because we can count. So, 1, crew, 2, engines, 3 is gun loading mechanisms, 4 is desks, 5 is shelves, crates, bunks, chairs, Enigma machines, plates, silverware, plumbing, shelves, I think it's 13. Ammunition is 14. Tools. Weapons. Boilers. Fuel canisters for the plane. Water pumps. Fuel pumps. Dynamo generators. machine tools, hydraulic machinery, steering equipment, shelves with goods on them. Tell me if you want to keep this on the screen all the time or not. It's going to go away in a moment. There we go. Okay, that was a fun bit of a distraction. I thank you for all those who watched to this point to even see it. Maybe I'll add a little more entertainment like that the next time. For everybody else. You know, I know some people use my videos for, background noise, but if I can be a bit more entertaining than that, I figured, I should do so. Part of sharing my love of the hobby, am I wrong? So there I am, once again, cutting out the various bits of the photo etch and turning them into shelves, or I think this case it's not shelves, I'm turning them into their original bins. And even at this scale, had I put a bit more thought into it, I could have probably made some kind of shell bin. Maybe not as good though as I'd like, but I could maybe have thought of something. Not in the Bismarck though, since it's 1/200th scale, I'll be able to actually do a pretty good job of that. Making shells, and actually I might even be able to do the whole urethane casting thing for them, and then I can make a whole bunch all at once. That'd be nifty and handy. Hold on, did I have things like shell bins in my little list here? I might have to do a bit more with this. I got ammunition, but I got shells, I got ammunition. Okay, so that's there. But I didn't think of those. Oh boy, here we go. Right while I'm recording. Okay. I'm just gonna tweak my software just a little bit and line things up. And shell bins, powder boxes. Where's this? Yep. Eating tables, eating chairs, stoves, kitchen utensils, radio equipment, navigation equipment, ballistics computer, radar equipment, bridge instruments, sonar equipment, ship's cat, and medical equipment. Yeah, that's right. Every ship needs a cat, so we're putting in the ship's cat. What? Interestingly enough, there's actually a good story about the ship's cat as I'm putting in some equipment here for the... Yeah, I think this is me trying to put a torpedo on a cart. So I'm making that by kind of using my little chair photo etch in a different way to act like it's wheels on a cart. And then trying to line up this thing after gluing it and spending a lot of time gluing to the torpedo. Eventually letting it kind of lay down and hoping it all dries and changing the camera's angle too. Eventually I do, however, get that thing in, get it in place, and try to make it look like it's getting loaded in there. So again, I'm doing some more shelves now, and I'm sure I'll have even more shelving. But just a quick blurb on, I think it was Unsinkable Sam, I think they called him, where the British, after Swiss cheesing the Bismarck, went to pick up survivors, because that's what you're supposed to do. Not that in war that's always going to happen, but that's what they're supposed to do. And they, along with these survivors, also picked up a rather, I guess, upset ship's cat. But the cat, I guess, bonded with the, British sailors and whatnot, and better than some of the super glue is doing right now, I guess. And eventually went on to survive quite a few ship sinkings. Apparently, so it earned the name Unsinkable Sam. So what you just saw me do there was put in the some boxes to make engineer stores, as well as maybe a shelf there to help that along. And I also now I'm putting in people to be handling the torpedoes and maybe taking some stock of things and what have you in the other compartments. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Again, cut them from the sprue, use the high-tack super glue because it helps to hold these guys, and then using the nice, very fine point tweezers to do the rest of that job. So there it is. And then this is like the last room at the very bottom, and here I make some propeller shafts. So I use some thicker polystyrene strip. I'm not sure what the dimensions are on this one. I think I got it out of a variety pack, so I'd have to measure it if I really wanted to tell. But I figured I'd use that kind of like a bearing block, I guess. So that's why you see me break out the pin vise and the drill, and I do end up losing a couple of these. They fall on the floor. That's going to be really annoying if it's an irreplaceable photo etch part that happens to in later builds. Grumble, grumble, because you know what's going to happen. But what I do is I drill a hole through them. I tried to line them up, but it doesn't quite work out so good to line them up with using my tweezers to hold it. So I went another route, and as you can see now, I put the blocks that I'm using as bearing blocks. They may have been called pillow blocks, I don't know. But yeah, so I put them in a position, and after I get them in position, I then run more of the lead solder through them to look like a propeller shaft. And this thing had 4 propellers, unlike the Bismarck 3. But yeah, so the Dreadnought had 4 propellers, so it has 4 propeller shafts. And some of them actually end up going through that central bulkhead a bit. So what I end up doing there is I do end up damaging that bulkhead. I tried to drill through it, didn't want to drill through, so I ended up just cutting out sections of that I guess wall, not bulkhead, that you'll see in a moment. You see where I'm gluing them in position? Yeah, those get hacked up a little bit after. And then yeah, I run the remaining propeller shafts through that. And I think I leave it there. All I got to do now is do a bit more laying out of pieces. And then this section, hopefully by, definitely in the next upcoming video, should be ready for painting. So, hope y'all found this episode entertaining. I did. I also found it illuminating because, yeah, this Bismarck project just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Alright, so, looks like this is about almost done. I need to add a few shell bins to this, and might add a few more details here and here just to kind of liven this up a little more. But other than that, I think I'm just about there. So, I remember saying earlier, during this whole thing that, or one of the last videos, sorry, as I get this thing all nice and prettied up here, that I'd be switching over to the, once every 2 week schedule, because, yeah, holidays, you get to do things with the kids, and, things with family and all that, and, getting a good handle on all that, plus my own usual holidays and just grumble, grumble. So, yeah, this is kind of the first video where that's really going to apply, and I think that'll be applying for a while. But with that, hopefully we'll all have a little fun with it, and I'll keep them coming. I'll keep working on these models, and soon enough, I think I'll be on to the B-17. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna need some time to properly prepare to do the Bismarck. Alright, but anyways, so I've been Rich, this has been Dreadnought Part 34, and I hope you all enjoyed. I guess now it's time for the YouTube dance. Like, share, subscribe, hooray! Alright, see you later.